young people are being exposed to real life much earlier.
The government needs to look into who comes in.
I think parenting plays a huge role in the behavior of a lot of our young men within the community.
Rise up, take your position. Rise up, make that decision. God will provide all your needs. He wants you to succeed. Have faith of a mustard seed. Get up on your feet. Rise up.
Welcome to the Drexel SEMA Show. This is the second part of meeting some of the young men in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And I hope that you are inspired from the first one we did, because I'm telling you, I believe that there's a lot of hope in Turks and Caicos. Sometimes we hear many horror stories about young men involving in gangs, involving in drugs, and all over the place, gallivanting and having children there and there. But there's still a lot of young men in this country who have a lot of promise for a greater future for Turks and Caicos. And so we'll continue the second series on meeting some of the young men here in the Turks and Caicos Islands. With that said, I want to welcome these three young men to the Drexel SEMA Show, and I'll ask each of them to introduce themselves, who they are, what they do, and how long they've been doing what they're doing. Thank you. Whoever wants to start first. Okay.
I'll start. So, hi, I'm Devonte Smith. Originally, my parents are from Grand Turk and Salkey, but I grew up here in Providenciales. I am just nearing my 30s. I won't tell you the age exactly. And I am an attorney, barrister actually, qualified in England and Wales and also in Turks and Caicos Islands. Outside of that, I'm a basketball coach. And yeah, those are the two main things that I am working on at the moment. A couple of entrepreneurship things happening in the background as well, as we all do. But in a nutshell, that's me.
Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Wayne Gardiner. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Providenciales. I'm a private chef, a local private chef, and studied abroad in the UK. I'm back home to fulfill my destiny.
Welcome, Wayne. Welcome. I
Thank
gotta
you.
try some of your food.
My name is Dominque Durham. I am a quantity surveyor by profession. I have studied in the UK and worked for 8 years. Returned to Turks and Caicos 8 years ago and fulfilled various roles within the government as their senior quantity surveyor, the director of housing, and more recently, the deputy permanent secretary for the Ministry of Infrastructure. Recently, I've ventured into my own business, so I operate and am the managing director of Future Build Consultancy. So we are a project management firm and quantity surveying, undertaking services such as appraisals, valuations, project management in the private sector. So that's who I am in a nutshell, and we'll share more later on in the show. Thanks for having me, Drex.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to start with you. So you're doing quantity surveying, you say, right?
Yes, sir.
You were in the UK for a couple of years. What made you decide to return home?
Well, after spending 8 years in the UK, Drax, I obtained 2 degrees. I did my bachelor's at the University of Greenwich, and then I did my master's at South Bank University. And whilst doing my master's, I was working part-time. So I work 4 days a week, and I go to uni 1 day a week. So at the time of moving home, it was a tough decision. I think it was quite timely for me because it was just after Hurricane Irma. Okay. And at that point, the entire island was completely devastated and destructed by the hurricane itself. So that was the main decision factor. And also I wanted to set up and operate my business. And I think that was timely for that as well. So I would say, given the fact that I've obtained enough experience within my field abroad, and I think it was time for me to invest that expertise locally here in the Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, and I think experience is very important.
Yeah.
I have no problem with people getting experience. I think you can't you can't take away that.
No.
And so I'm glad you acquired the experience. And more important, I'm glad you returned, to Turks and Caicos. And now you are an entrepreneur in the private sector. So thank you for coming back home, making a significant contribution. We'll talk later about any challenges and stuff that you experience as well as a business owner.
Okay.
So when you studied in the UK,
Yes, sir.
how long you was there for?
I was in the UK for 5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I left here like after high school. My parents sent me off. So I was actually a part of the Little Chef program. I was one of like the first set. My parents decided to send me off to school to do culinary arts, and I studied in like Luton at first, and then I moved to Manchester the following year, where I did 2 years in like college, regular college, professional cookery, and then I worked in like 2 restaurants. So I always wanted to do my best, so I worked in 2 of the best restaurants in Manchester. It wasn't easy. It was difficult at first when I got in there, but I got used to it because I was actually hungry and I wanted to learn.
Right. That's good. You were desperate to learn. Okay. Was it hard getting jobs at those 2 best restaurants? Was it hard?
The first one I had a first job. I used to work after college, and it was at this place called Premier Inn. So we usually just it was boxed food we were doing, like reheating stuff. And I got in a little bit of issue at work. I forgot to clean behind a counter one night, and the guy in the morning, he told on me, so I ended up getting pulled away in the office for it, and they were like, what do you want to do? And I wanted to be honest. I just told them I want to do fine dining. They was like, you sure you want me to write this down? They fired me. I went online, this agency, and they helped me find the first restaurant. It was like a tapas restaurant. They had just started, and it was a new business, but it was like crazy experience because the fresh food over there, like we got in one of the restaurants I worked in, the fine dining one, we got in like fresh pigs, like live lobsters. It was a different experience.
Oh, wow. That's good. And what made you decide after 5 years in UK to return home?
I actually wanted to go somewhere else, like, because I still wanted some more experience. I always wanted to work in a Michelin star restaurant. But my parents was the ones that encouraged me to come back home. Because they saw a lot of people coming here and doing the private chef. They're like, they think I should come and do it. Yeah, so I came back home. I worked in 7 Stars for 1 year. I worked for Isaiah Gardiner. He owns a private chef company called Crave TCI. I worked with them for a year, and after that, I went on my own.
Yeah. And so far, you are happy you made that decision to return home?
Yes, sir.
Oh, awesome. All right. Hey, Mr. Smith, tell us about you. I know you worked as well, and some experience in the UK as well.
Yeah, so all in all, I did about 6 years in the UK.
Right.
A mixture of studying and working in the field. It was never really an end in itself. It was always a means to an end from the beginning. So my travels to the UK was with the mindset that, look, I'm going to get some experience, get my degree, and find myself back home. And that was encouraged by the experience I had already had with a local firm, Griffiths and Partners here.
Right.
And so the intention was to return home. Nearing the decision to return home, though, it was a difficult decision.
Yeah.
As I think all of us will say, for a number of reasons. But I think ultimately it was part of my purpose to return home at that time.
Yeah.
So it was always a decision of not if, but when.
Yeah.
And similar to Dominque, he mentioned the decision came out of difficulty. Yeah. So a family member of mine was sick, and that kind of pushed me towards, all right, now is the time
to come.
And looking back, I can say, it was part of my purpose because I'm happy for it that I made the decision then.
Right.
So that was a big part of it for me.
So what do you, when you say nearing the end, it was kind of tough. Why is that a challenge? Is it the social life? I mean, what was very tough?
I think it's a combination of things. There is so much opportunity around in the UK, and the growth I was having at the beginning of my career
Okay.
was exponential. So I had the opportunity to be with a leading barrister set in London. And their training is very intentional. It's very focused. You have someone that's specifically guiding you throughout the way. And you get experience in different fields of litigation. So, my growth was exponential at that time. And I thought, how could I be okay with saying, all right, I'm going to move home now where it's not as structured, it's not as intentional. I'm going to have to sink or swim, right? So, it was a difficult decision. Plus, the social life is great. The access to everything in London, is at your fingertips as well. So the lifestyle is different as well.
Yeah. I can imagine, because I went to school in Ohio, and I know it was tough for me, I cried too, so I have to come back, come back home. I said, oh no, and then I'm so happy I'm home now, you know what I mean? We all go through that, but I'm so glad that y'all are home. A lot of people believe that a lot of people are leaving Turks and Caicos to the UK. Do you think that is the case, or you just think that's a myth? A lot of young people really leaving, but I feel like more people are coming back too. What are your thoughts?
I think persons are leaving for various reasons, Drax. But for me, most recently, I've seen, a lot of talent moving back to Turks and Caicos in terms of the younger students.
Me too.
I think there are quite a bit of them returning home. What I've seen and in my personal experience, I think those who are moving away probably for other reasons than education, perhaps better health care, or, either just a social attraction or of that sort. I don't know. But from my point of view, I think, a lot more talent is coming home.
Yeah. I see that too. What about you, Wayne?
I've been seeing like a lot of people coming back home. I would encourage them to come back home. This is home. Like, we can't let anybody come in and take our opportunities. That's for us.
And then we complain about foreigners taking over.
Yeah.
So if you continue to leave, then obviously it's not enough of us. So who's going to replace? So, but as long as they go away to enhance their career, enhance their education, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But we want them to come back home. What do you see from your point of view?
It's a mixed bag, to be honest.
Okay.
I think it's a mixed bag. We've had over the years a bit of a brain drain. I agree. We've lost local talent, both indigenous local, but also local in the sense that they've grown up here, been nurtured here, and all of them should be forming the workforce in TCI, and we have lost quite a bit, I think. But I agree that the trend is that some students are now coming back. They are now taking up their positions in TCI. But there's definitely a mixed bag.
Yeah. So what do you think we need to do as a country? We know people are coming back, but we need more to come back. What do you think we need to do, or some things you think we need to do to encourage and have like an incentive for people to come back? Because some people say, what are I coming back home for? You know what I mean? What do you think we some of the things we should do?
I'll jump on that.
Yeah.
I think both the private and public sector can do better at investing in talent early.
Okay.
And allowing internships, but also coupling that with a very intentional, I'm going to support your studies, but we expect you to come back after some experience. And those things are there. I know the government has the bond system and whatnot, but I think we can be more intentional about placing these people, not straight out of study, because I think it does us a disservice to try and snatch someone year one, put them in TCI, but to be intentional about encouraging them to get experience first, but know that after you've done 2-3 years experience, you should be back here and there's a spot for you here.
Yeah. And what about like the salary and stuff? You think that's a turn off for some people too? Like the pay, the compensation?
I mean, at the moment we are salary-wise, we are competing with the region.
Oh, okay.
Salary wise,
Yeah.
I think. And in some jobs we're doing quite well, especially in the hospitality industry. We're doing quite well,
Yeah.
I think. But that is something we have to look at. I can't say I've had an insight into the numbers to
Right.
really answer that, but maybe you guys have an insight to it, salary wise.
Yeah. You have any more comment on that subject?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'll jump in on that as well, Jackson. I agree with Devonte. I think both, again, public and private sector first need to understand the challenges that we face entering the industry, particularly to what we've studied,
Yeah.
and see where they can minimize or eliminate those challenges for us. I know for myself, particularly in the construction industry, with a profession like quantity surveying, at the time when I returned home, there were very few locals within that particular field. And I didn't have a government scholarship. I was privately funded, so I didn't have any obligations to come back and work for the government, but I had still made the decision to do so. So my point is that you've touched on it, salary expectations within the construction industry. I think there's a huge gap between public and private with salary. So I have actually taken a less salary and joined the government services because of my, patriotism. I wanted to invest back in Turks and
nice.
Caicos
That's
and,
nice.
and be able to rebuild all of the public infrastructure and facilities at that time. And after spending 7 years, I thought, I've reached that point. I ever had the vision of, moving on into my own practice and continuing that. But after 7 years, I thought, I've done quite a bit and enough. So that was my decision. So going back to the challenges that, young professionals face, I think it's difficult entering into the industry or particular field because of salary challenges.
Right.
There's lack of, I would say, trust. Persons come back and they're often given the excuse of you haven't got enough experience.
Oh, okay.
So, like you said, we are definitely encourage those who are studying to gain the necessary experience abroad, because I too, when I can remember when I landed my first job in London, I've probably been on 8 interviews.
Right.
And
For the same
job.
job.
Same job. And I've been told, you're not experienced, and we don't need you, or and I can remember it's very difficult going in the rain, in winter time, in the snow. You're waiting at the bus stop. It's so discouraging, and you're getting told that you weren't successful in an interview. You're educated, your expertise, etc. So the point that I'm making is that when persons return, I think those positions that we have here in the private and public sector that are senior, that we are very much capable of, I think we need to be given the opportunity to showcase ourselves. But there are a lot of barriers. I guess we'll touch on that later, but there are a lot of other barriers that prohibit the young professionals from entering into the level that I think they need to get into and showcase their full potential and expertise.
Yeah, you're right. And then the thing is, you have no experience, or they tell you overqualified. When do you meet the qualification criteria? So
and if you don't give me the experience, how am I going to get it?
Get it? That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So when you have your own business,
Yes, sir.
You say you're 29.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What made you decide to do your own business, and what sort of challenges that you face?
Me working in the tourism industry, I saw how much money that was there to be made doing the private chef, and I was like, man, I have to do something. I just took a risk, and I actually got my logo made from during COVID time.
Oh, okay.
That's way before I was working at 7 Stars. I had to leave there because of salary, and I was supposed to start Grace Bay Club, and the country shut down, so I was out of a job for 9 months.
Oh boy!
And then that's
Must
when I
have been
started
tough.
working for the private chef company, and I actually saw a lot of
Opportunity.
money to be made, and I was like, man, I have to do this by myself. I just worked for a year, got the experience, got my foot wet, then I saw how everything was going, and then I just said, I got to do it.
Okay. Did it require a lot of capital?
So at first, I think a very important thing that you need is clientele.
Okay.
Like, so I just told some of my clients that usually requested me. I started my business, and that from there it's just word of mouth. Now I do a lot of marketing. I think
Okay.
a lot of local businesses need to look into marketing properly because
That's true.
I think that is the way to go. But a lot of people here don't market their business properly.
They don't see the benefit, I guess. What's the name of your company again?
The 6th Private Chef and Catering.
The 6th Private Chef. Okay. Now, what about you? I mean, Durham, I remember you made you did a commentary on Facebook. Because I know the banks, you know, they're giving a loan, they want information from an independent quantity surveyor.
Yeah.
And I remember you went out there and you mentioned, and I took it upon myself to contact the banks after I saw your article. And I know it must be very challenging for you, knowing that you are capable of doing the same work that these other two companies that the bank are using. Tell us about those challenges, and have there been any progress? Has any progress been made in identifying you as one of the companies that people could come to?
Well, thanks, Drax, for that question. And also thank you for reaching out. I would also like to note that you've reached out to me personally regarding the matter, and you've done some endeavors on your end to assist me. So thanks for that. I appreciate that. Yes, there has been some progress with one of the banks. So I'm in the process now of signing the agreement.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm happy for that.
Thank you. With joining the list of approved appraisers or evaluators. But Drax, it is quite unfortunate that, you know, it has to get to that.
I know.
For that to happen.
I know.
You know, and those are some of the challenges that we face as a business. So for example, with my company being new in the industry, a small, fully indigenous operated, owned, entering a market that has been dominated by, you know, predominantly expats for
years,
over 25, 30 years. So, you know, there's already that culture and that closely knitted group of, you know, workforce that operate together. So being new, it is difficult to get your feet in the door and showcase yourself. That's one of the challenges I've had. I've been operating my firm for the last 7 years. We are growing. We are a team of 5.
Oh, okay.
And I'm also recruiting. My office is just upstairs, La Valley Plaza, on the side of Meridian Trust, Future Build Consultancy. One other challenge that I face is, for example, I think the government can also do more as it relates to assisting, you know, smaller firms or locally indigenous firms like myself on the side of, and I think you spoke about it on one of your episodes, like work permit fees. For a quantity surveyor, it's about $7,000.
It's expensive. It's really hard.
So there's no way I can employ 6 or 7 quantity surveyors as opposed to my competition who've been in the industry so long and at the magnitude or size that they can be able to afford that. I think I applaud the government for looking at the business licensing categories and the reserves and that sort of thing, but I think they do need to take it a step farther to assist locals with, you know, maybe if it's 50% on the first year of your work permit, and as your business grows, it can be some sort of reimbursement calculations, you know, something of that sort. But I personally wouldn't be able to afford 3 and 4 work permits for a quantity surveyor at $7,000 a year, even one. So I had to pay that my first year because I employ a quantity surveyor. He's employed full time. So, you know, I had to pay that fee. But, you know, it's difficult with the operating costs. So that's one of the challenges, as well as entering entering new into the industry. Thirdly, I think because we are so small and closely knitted, it can be advantageous and disadvantage, meaning that you have already established groups of personnel that operate within the industry. So if, for example, a client comes into a lawyer and they say he's looking for a QS or project manager, he's going to refer him to his colleague who's been working with for the last 10, 15 years. And then that architect is going to refer him to his quantity surveyor and his project manager. So, you know, if you don't infiltrate or get in those circles and network, and, you know, you'll be at a disadvantage. And and also, you know, some of the things may be politically influenced as well. So those are some of the challenges, but I've been just investing in my team and my expertise and networking and promoting, marketing my business, and we've been getting work. We're quite happy with that. We've definitely got the appetite for more.
Yeah.
But I think we'll just let our expertise showcase for itself and our integrity, and you know, hopefully things will fall through. So yeah, those are some of the challenges.
You know, that's good to hear. I mean, I wish you the best. The name of your company is what?
Future Build Consulting.
Future Build. All right. I wish you the best in that. I think you're going to do well.
Thanks, man.
And I admire you. I think entrepreneurship is a key for many locals.
Yeah.
You know, grow. You know, you're working so hard for so many other people, and they make all the money. You work all these hours, but you know, of course, there'll be some people always be employees as well. You know, but I admire the young people, you know, who took the step and the risk and started their own business. I wish you the best.
Oh, thanks, Trax. Appreciate it.
Now, a lot of people sometimes they criticize and they say we have too many lawyers out there. Well, everybody's studying law. What is your opinion about that? You think we have too many young people? I think people should do what they want to do personally.
Yeah.
You know, you think we have too many lawyers?
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Business is expanding in TCI.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given. There's so much development happening that there's more opportunity and more need for lawyers. What I'm happy about is the cohort of junior lawyers that we see now, a lot of it is local. So we have a number of young local attorneys that are coming up the ranks.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Yes.
I'm overjoyed about that.
Yeah.
Because the future in the field looks more like me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a very good point, actually.
And so I would encourage those who are looking at law as a field, go for it.
Yeah.
Right? I think the second point is not every lawyer does the same type of work or is in the same field or has the same niche. And so I get a number of people that come to me and say, oh, if I ever get locked up and call you.
A criminal lawyer.
I'm like, well, I won't be that much help.
Yeah.
But if you have a land dispute or you have some other civil litigation, if you have an employment issue, if it's probate, I'm your guy. Call me.
So you're on the civil side.
Right. Yeah. So I am more civil commercial litigation. And I do a bit of conveyancing now as well. As my father's in the real estate field, and there's so much development going on. It only makes sense.
True.
Right.
True.
So I don't think it's saturated at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And the third point, and I'll stop talking after this.
Don't worry about that.
Is there are a number of lawyers or attorneys or barristers that have been in the field for quite some time, and they are now looking to hang up their hats.
Right.
And so it's a great time to learn under those masters and succession plan and to get all the knowledge and, bring in our new ideas and incorporate AI and, and path our future in the field. So, I'm encouraged.
Very good. Very good. Yes. So what's the difference between a barrister and an attorney?
Yeah, so it's a very English thing. So in the UK, they've split the profession between barristers, i.e. I wear the wig, I go to court, I deal with contentious matters, or my job is working in other people's problems, kind of thing. And solicitors, they do more desk work, paperwork, non-contentious stuff, conveyancing, contractual work, that sort of stuff. So they don't go to court. They don't do the litigation side.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So solicitor. So it's either solicitor or barrister.
Solicitor or barrister.
But everybody's a lawyer.
Everyone is a lawyer. Everyone is an attorney. That's a more American term for them. But what tends to happen is here everyone gets called to the bar.
Okay.
But you tend to naturally do more barrister-like work or solicitor-like work.
I got it.
In practice.
All right.
So I get to don the wig and go
Okay.
to court, court of appeal and get up on my
Okay.
feet, so which I enjoy.
Good.
Good.
That's very good.
It is.
So I want to turn the attention now to, our country is facing a lot of issues. A lot of times, when you look at the news reports, it's about a lot of young men. Very rarely you see about young women. A lot of young men getting in trouble. In drugs, they're involved in gangs, they're involved in the murders and stuff like that. I tell you, I never imagined Turks and Caicos would be like this. I know they say, with this growth and with development, you expect these things, but there are other places that are developed. Cayman is developed more than us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the same issues that we have when it comes to the young people, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we need to do? What do you think is some of the driving points that's causing these things to take place? What is driving young men to join gangs and commit these acts? What can we do about to alleviate? It may never go away, but
Yeah.
I think there are ways in which we can reduce this from happening. What do you think we should do?
I think, Drax, for me, my personal opinion, I think everything starts from home,
Okay.
right? I think parenting plays a huge role in the behavior of a lot of our young men within the community. Whether they come from a single family household or whether your dad is around or mom, but I think it starts at home with the necessary discipline and parenting there. Often what you see, given the cost of living, for example, you have a lot of young parents. I think you have parents working 2 jobs to be able to afford to live. So most times they're not seeing their kid because of their work shifts. So they're not involved. They don't know what they're doing at school. They don't know what they're doing when they're at home. When they get at home at their night shift, the kid is probably asleep. So they have 5 years of high school with the kids basically raising themselves. And then they get into the wider world where they lack that particularly discipline or parenting from the parents themselves. So I think there's a social concern there with cost of living in the Turks and Caicos that's tied to every other thing as well. That's one. I think, Drax. Secondly, I think there needs to be more for the young man to do. I know there's been talks about trade school, for example, for numerous years. From when I joined the service 7 years ago, I can remember doing the bill of quantities for the trade school at that time. But I think not everyone is academically inclined. Not everyone is going to be a scholar or going to be a doctor or a lawyer or a chef. But I think these hands-on trade and if you look around, Drax, the construction industry is booming. That is one of the
seriously
economic drivers of the economy at the moment. I mean, you've got over more than $1.2 billion of construction going on right now. And, that is an industry that a lot of these young men can benefit from.
Yeah.
And if you look at who's been employed and who's benefiting, it's not the young man. So I think things like the trade school needs to be taken more seriously. And I think the Minister of Education is working on it tirelessly, and it's soon coming to fruition. So I do applaud her for that because I've been engaged with conversations regarding that. So I think it's fair to say that, but I think that is urgent. We need that trade school. We need to get our men into, using their hands if they're not going to be scholars. So I've mentioned the point with parenting, trade school, and even from a social standpoint, I mean, being involved. I mean, look at the parks and stuff, the upkeep of it. I mean, you travel to countries and you see kids out playing football in these parks, and basketballs in the parks is well maintained and lidded, and it seems to be heavily invested in. But when you drive around the communities here and you look at the parks, you rarely see anyone there, or those
no parks at all.
or none at all, and who's using it, So a lot of these things, and I can go on and on, but I think a lot of these things, those three are very key and important to getting the young men not involved in negative things in the community. And these are very men with potential and ambitious men. So I think those three things are key for me.
That's some good points, actually. What about you, Wayne?
I also agree with them. Like it starts at home.
Yeah.
I grew up in Q-Town.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends and stuff, and I grew up in Q-Town, but both my parents were there.
Yeah.
Probably most of the kids that I grew up with, played with when I was younger. probably just was in a single parent
parent.
home. And my mom used to be like, don't go here, don't go there. You know, like my parents were quite strict with me, like living there, because it wasn't that bad back then, but now it's gotten worse. But like, I think it starts at home.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys, like growing up, I saw all of us play sports. Like, I think the government needs to do more in like that sector. Because if you look at the Bahamas, you have a lot of professional athletes. The Bahamas push into their sports.
Invest more, you think?
They invest a lot in sports, and I think we could have a lot of great athletes. And I think that's something they should look into.
Okay.
I feel like sports, everybody, like it takes your mind off a lot, and I feel
and also
like
shows you how to work together as a team. When you're playing sports, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you want?
I want to pick up where Wayne left. And something he said just now, it takes your mind off of things, right? Over the last year and a bit, I've done a lot of work with young people.
Okay. Coaching?
Coaching and basketball, but that has led to other things.
Oh, okay.
Like, so I'm now in the environment where, the young boys, they go, hey, coach, hey, I know them now, right? And so I've had a lot of conversations and a couple of things I've learned. One, young people are being exposed to real life much earlier. So they have grown man problems, right? That they're dealing with at 15, 16, those types of things that I thought I wasn't worried about that until much later in my life, right?
But why do you think they are more exposed to that now?
Well, I mean, it comes out a lot of the social issues, right? Single family home, there's not someone to talk about what you're going through with, right? And so a lot of the problems I think we're facing now is young men aren't being taught how to address their feelings, their emotions, what they're dealing with in the moment in a positive way, right? There's no one there helping them to do that. And two, when they do find outlets, they're negative. So, there's drugs, those types of things come in much earlier now, right? The second thing I want to say is the sports point. One, I want to give kudos to the Sports Commission. I'm going to start there because what I've seen them do over the last 2 years, they're more active.
That is true.
They're more out there. You see them. I've been involved. It's more organized. It's more intentional, right? And so the kids that do get involved in sports, they're finding an outlet, and it's positive, and they look forward to it. And their coaches and the people that are involved, they then become role models. Which brings me to my third point. It's us. Parents parents can't be there all the time because of what our country is dealing with at the moment. So young men like us need to get more involved.
I see.
That's just the reality of it. We have to, if we want the country to be a socially positive place, we need to share with them the experiences we've had in life.
We gotta do our part.
We need to do our part. We need to put in our time. We need to say to these young folks, listen, you think you're going through it now. Look, I've been through it. I know what the back end looks like. This is what you should do. Find a brother that you can confide with. You all sit down, you all talk it out. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff is needed.
Yeah.
At a basic mental health level and at a more complicated, mental health level, we need facilities.
Yeah. Well, how do we find the time? Because I find myself so preoccupied with my job, with my company, right? I mean, you got your business, and I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. But and you're working probably, I don't know, more than 50 hours a week.
Yeah.
How do you find that time to help the community, or that's something we have to do and make up our mind to sacrifice some of that time? How do we do that?
You've got to make up your mind that that's going to be part of your routine. And that's what I found. For me, it came through basketball, but basketball is my first love.
Right.
So it's not difficult for me to make that a part of my routine, right? So I found a thing that I love. I've found a way to mentor in that thing, and I dedicate a couple hours a week to that, and that is my way of service as well, you know.
Yeah.
So and I get exercise with it. So you know,
Okay.
I coach and I get in the game, you know. So my body, I'm ticking off a couple of boxes at the same time.
Okay, I
Right?
got you.
You know,
Yeah, that makes
but
sense.
you know, we have to though.
Yeah.
You know, and this is a part of it as well, Jax.
Yeah.
And being able, and I want to say thank you to you.
Yeah.
Being able to have this conversation
Yeah.
is a part of the solution.
Yeah.
You know, because hopefully someone hears this and says, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
Let me see how I can get involved.
Yeah. You can make a difference in one person's life.
You're right.
That's
Absolutely.
that's powerful.
Absolutely.
One, it don't, it takes one,
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Each one teach one, right?
Yeah. But I do believe we do need more people to volunteer their time. I mean, to me, we're so caught up in making a lot of money and thinking about ourselves, and we need to help the whole entire country. What we can do.
Well, I think we can create systems, and this is where government and also the private sector can get involved, because they can create systems that doesn't mean that, okay, I need to go out and coach, but I'm not getting paid for it. They can create systems where, okay, if you come out and coach, you get $100 stipend to do that, you know.
I understand.
But and make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And as you do that, you create coaches, and those players become coaches, and you know it's lifelong cycle of mentorship, right? But that's about creating systems and getting people involved and being very intentional about it.
Some very, very good points. You guys want to add anything else to?
No, I definitely want to add to what Devonte has said with regards to finding the time. I think it's important to acknowledge that it has to be a part of your routine, or because you have 3 different professions here, and if we have 3 different individuals whom we can groom or mentor, I think it is a part of our daily routine, given that it's within the same area or field of work. Like for myself, we do our summer interns, where I've had a brilliant.
You do have some interns.
Yeah, I had a brilliant young lady over the summer, an architect. Well, she's still in school studying, but she's endeavoring to be an architect. And I was quite, because we have our own in-house architects as well. So I was quite surprised with her level of skill on AutoCAD and what she was able to do. She had an assignment to do for the summer, and she completed there.
Yeah.
And and showing her how to do something and seeing her go away and without coming back questioning, and it's done. I'm thinking, we've got some brilliant talent and potential. So, continuing to invest in the young people from that aspect as a part of our profession, I think is definitely our duty, I would say.
Yeah.
So why do you think, why do you think we're not hearing much negative about the young ladies? I mean, most times it's about the young men. Is it because women are different from men? I mean, no, most of the times the negative is about the man.
Yeah.
I don't hear many negative stories about young women. Why do you think that's happening? Is it because we're programmed differently?
I think.
Or there are areas that we just,
I think we're looking at it from the point of view of crime, for example. Not often you would have ladies committing as much crime as men do. The statistics just proves that. It shows that men commit more crime than women. So I think there's that element of it as well. From the social aspect, I don't know. I can't really say, but I think I would say generally that men have a lot of pressure on us. As men, we have a lot of pressure on us. And that's what makes it very difficult for us. And it's always like you're always under the spotlight. So any little thing you do or mishap or mistake, it's just going to be, acknowledged widely and grossly. So I think because of the pressure we face as men and the responsibility we have in the community, in the household we have to lead, in the community, in our social aspects. So the minute we do something that's outside of our character or caliber, it's just taken out of proportion or it's acknowledged grossly. So I think that's probably why, we see men as being more criticized from that aspect.
That is true. Now I want to talk about on the job, right? Because I met many people. I meet people all the time, especially people who are not from Turks and Caicos. They say how well the great opportunities we have here, but they all, the people I met, they always tell me that a lot of the young people they met on the job, I mean, they say some of them, and I just can't believe it. They just say some of these people come to work and they get drunk. They don't show up. They come to work for a few hours to get enough money. Some of them show up, they drunk, they don't show up to work. Some of them don't care. And they say, man, if this was my country, we'd be fighting to get a job. Have you heard any experiences where some of our young people are not putting their all in all in their job? I believe it could happen. I believe it happens in every country, not just Turks and Caicos. But I guess because we're smaller, it's more noticeable. But I get a lot of complaints about young people not putting all in their job.
You're right, Drax. I haven't heard any particular scenarios as such, but I would definitely say I do acknowledge the level of work and effort that our locals put into what they do is mediocre, I would say. Even from a customer service standpoint, I mean, the customer service here from, the locals are horrible in most instances, I mean, in my experience. I've had instances where I've gone into institutions or workplaces for a service and it's been dissatisfied. I've had scenarios where I've been in the workplace where I think the level of work produced is not at the required level. So I just think that we need to take what we do more seriously, invest more time and effort in what we do, become a perfectionist at what we do, and enhance the overall quality of work that we produce as a nation compared to other regions I've been in. And so when you have these expats who come here, they're highly qualified, they have the experience, so when they work along with the local indigenous persons, they can quite easily point out these minor faults. But it's not to say that they are better than us or they are more potential than undertaking the task than us. But I just think we need to invest that time and effort in perfecting ourselves, invest in ourselves. And for me, being a part of for example, myself in my profession, being a part of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, for example, I have to prove to them every year that I'm continuously investing in my profession through continuous professional development,
Education.
CDP. So I have to log 20 hours a year and I have to prove to them. So, I mean, I'm continuously growing and developing and investing in my profession. I'll go online and read an article on construction law or something that has occurred, and that 30 minutes I have to log it down to prove to them that I'm continually investing in my skills. So, being a part of, institutions and that sort of thing also assists with, perfecting your craft and always wanting to do more and improve your quality and grow, And with that, obviously business comes and, you're more successful as an entrepreneur or a young businessman. So I think that's key.
Yeah. I mean, mind you, I think there's some very hardworking young people, in the country. But there's some who need some improvement, And I was speaking to another businessman the other day on the plane. He was saying, we were saying maybe it's because we have so many choices in jobs. They feel, oh, this doesn't work out, I'll get another job. I don't know. What do you two think?
I heard it's not that easy to find a job. Like some people,
you don't think it's easy finding a job?
From experience of people told me like it's hard to get a job out here. So I don't think people are just But being in the private chef industry, like in tourism industry, I went to Emiara when I used to work for the old private chef company. I went to Emiara for like 3 weeks. Like they had a contract with them, so and the only people that like expats work there, basically the chefs, and they thinking I'm not Turks Islander. They asking me,
really?
Are you Jamaican? Like they surprised to see a Turks Islander working. Like a lot of them,
I hate that here.
A lot of them look at us and say Turks Islanders don't like to work.
They make a general statement about us. Yes, people do make that general statement.
I do like me working in the villas. I do get mad. It makes me very angry. Like
I would be. Yeah, because not all of us are the same.
Yeah,
and every country, I believe you're gonna find some lazy people.
Yeah,
that's
what it is.
It's like they label us.
Yeah,
and then like I just it gets frustrating sometimes. But like me working,
you from Turks and Caicos, You sure you from Turks and Caicos? You know?
Yeah, I like to backtrack a little bit and like speak on my experience, like
Go ahead,
me
man.
being in the private chef industry. First of all, I think the government needs to look into who comes in the country. We have a lot of chefs here come here. Like people come here, start businesses, no business license. Like to me, that's crazy. Like we can't go in another country and start our own business or just come off the plane and just start working like
Especially
that.
if you don't have a right to work here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like if I didn't have certain clients that I usually have, like I like to push my business and I like to deal with a lot of high end clients. So that's why I aim for luxury.
Right.
And then like so me being a small business owner, most of these big villas, like I have certain clients that stayed in these big villas where I couldn't get in at point. Like my client's paying you money, but you telling them you can't use no outside chefs.
Oh.
And I speak for all local chefs. Like I feel like something needs to be done because personally, if I pay my money, if I pay like 12 million a night or 8,000 a night, you can't tell me who to use.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't think
And
that's
so you're
right.
experiencing that challenge.
It is something that happens here. Like you have these big companies, you can't really get in there unless you're approved. Some of them asking for business license, which is crazy. But like, I think the government needs to look into this, especially because like I usually sit down sometimes and be like, what about the younger people who want to be private chefs? If I going through this and the next thing, when I first started, I probably was the youngest person doing it. Like it's more older guys doing. Now you got a few younger guys just starting, and I'm happy to see that like they took that risk and they're
good.
doing it now. But like, there's a lot you got to go through to get through certain doors here.
It's sad though, but I think too that if anyone is aware of people doing business without a business license, then I think we need to report them. You know, we need, because sometimes the government departments are not aware.
Yeah.
They're not aware what's going on.
You know?
The companies know what they're doing. They bring these people in as tourists or they bring them in as visitors, but really they bring them as employees.
Yeah.
And so if you are aware of what's going on, then we need to report them. We need to report them, you know. And that's part of the problem we have. People are doing so much stuff in this country. It become unnoticeable and it's becoming accepted.
Yeah.
You know, and then who's hurting? You're hurting. You know, we talk about growing this country, and if the people can't benefit, then what's the point of having all this development? If the people that live here all their lives have nowhere else to go, what's the point? You know? So, any more feedback you want to share on that?
Just briefly on the point about young people being lazy. There's a few bad apples.
Yeah.
You can't get around that. But I cringe when I hear it being spoken generally.
I know.
Because it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true generally. And the point about, that Dominque made it about, CPD, at the lower level, I think we need to encourage more hospitality training.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's our main industry.
Yeah.
And so straight out of high school, we should be encouraging high school students to go directly into, if they plan to go into the workforce, take a 6 months, do this hospitality training. Let us prepare you for what the hospitality industry
or do it in the
requires.
high school.
No, do it at the
Right.
high school.
Or do it in the high school.
Yeah,
Right?
because some Eastern Caribbean countries, where agriculture is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are taught. They teach that in the high schools.
Right. And so that's what it should be, I
Yeah.
think. Because a lot of the expat workers that come into the hospitality industry, they are at the top end in the world for what they do. I mean, we're competing with Mauritius, Dubai, that's the sort of workforce we're getting now.
Yeah.
It's high end. They are the best in the world. And so we need to bring our local population up to that standard as well.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. So, our country's growing. We have to bring a lot of workers in.
Yes.
We have people who are born here, live all their lives, consider this as home. but there's a division among us. This versus this nationality. But what do you think we need to do to work to live together in harmony, as opposed to the TI staying together, Jamaicans staying together, Haitians staying together, and as we continue to grow our country and people living here, I think we have to find a way where we can live in harmony with one another. What we need to do? I think it's a problem.
I totally agree. I won't act as if I know the answer. But I think I have some useful comments about it. I think the starting point is, as Turks and Caicos Islanders, we need to figure out what our culture is. We need to be reminded of what our culture is, and we need to take pride in that and promote that. Because put the others that joining us question aside for a second. One, who are we? What is our identity? And let's hold on to that, promote that, maintain that. And as we invite others in, teach them that.
And then we also got to get along with each other too.
Yeah, well, yes, of course.
Because we're divided as well. As Turks and Caicos Islanders, we're also divided.
Oh yeah. We still have the Caicos versus Turks thing.
Unfortunately, it still exists.
That still exists.
I think it has improved though.
Yes.
But it still exists.
Right? But it's all our culture, right?
Yeah.
And now we need to hold firm onto that more than ever.
Yeah.
It needs to be taught in our schools. It needs to be pushed through our festivals. What we eat, what we drink, the way we live, all needs to be maintained and to be taught and to be passed on, right?
Yeah. That's true.
And told in our stories. And so as we maintain that, we can bring others in. I think that's the starting point.
So we got to get it right first among
We got
ourselves.
to get it right.
Yeah.
100%.
I understand.
100%.
You want to share any more on that issue?
Yeah, I think I'll take it a step further to add some commentary to what Devonte said with regards to culture. I do think that we do need to take it a step further, because with these inclusion of different nationalities, they bring their own cultures.
They do.
Right? They bring their own culture. And I think we are we adapt, I wouldn't say a lackadaisical, but like a relaxed attitude with regards to them bringing their culture. So, I mean, with regards to the way they build, the way they police the community. You ride around in some of these communities and like the garbage on the street or the upkeep or different aspects of the community and the culture. It's as if we allow it to be what they are accustomed to, without being very strong and intentional about how we police the upkeep that you need to adapt to what we are accustomed to here. Because certain countries, you can't go and do as you please. You can't even chew gum and spit gum out in places like Singapore and stuff. So why we allow, different nationalities to come here and bring their culture and get away with it without any, proper or strict policing. So I think we need to take it a step further and adhere to those kind of issues as well.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to add, Wayne?
No, sir. I agree with both guys.
Yeah. Let's talk about health. Health is a big issue. People, the government spends, I don't know, more than $50 million, I think, a year on health, overseas medical treatment, stuff like that. And I don't know about you, but I don't like to go to doctors, right? And a lot of men, like they only go to doctors when they're really, really in a bad state.
Yeah.
But we need to encourage men to go and see the doctor at least twice a year. I mean, what are your thoughts on health? And do you guys go? Do you get medical checkup? It's very critical for people to get medical checkup, and we need to encourage the men and women to get medical because I tell you, sometimes it's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late, and when they send you abroad, people come back dead because it's too late.
Yeah,
and we need to maintain a healthy environment.
Yeah,
a healthy country. What do you say about health overall?
All right. Well, I do get checkups, not twice a year, but I do it once a year. But
That's
I think
good.
I'm getting to the point now where I do need to get it twice a year, the older you get. I think that is very important. As you see within the community, those who are close by or family relatives are, passing away due to prostate cancer, which is a big thing for men that, sometimes we wait too late or we don't do our regular checkups to, adapt our lifestyle accordingly to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So I do think that is quite important for the men. So I encourage men out there to do your checkups. I think the way we live, our everyday living, what we eat, what we do, and even exercise, sports like Devonte mentioned earlier, I think we do have a bad eating habits. The fried foods, late night burgers, the rice. So for me personally, I'm very conscious now what I consume.
Okay.
And I try to adhere to it very strictly. So I have my little routine, my personal one. I'm not going to share it, but there's certain foods I stay away from, certain days a week. And, I try to be strict with it and exercise. So when I do these annual checkups, there's not anything that will be alarming. So I would definitely recommend young men to be conscious of their diets and what they consume.
That's the key, actually.
Yeah, be conscious of what you consume and, how much you consume and exercise is key. Very, very important. So that's my 2 cents on health. Yeah.
I never actually got one before, like a checkup.
A medical
But
checkup?
I need. He's speaking. He's older than me, so he's speaking, and I listen to
You don't
him.
get
So I
a
got.
checkup?
Not,
you better
like you
start
say,
soon.
like you say, men don't like to go to the doctor unless they're really sick. Then they go in for like.
Yeah, you got to make that a habit at least once a year. Two is even
But
better.
some men believe that they have to wait until they're 40 to check their prostate because they don't want to do it a certain way.
Nobody wants to check the prostate. Trust me.
But there's different ways
It's a
now.
horrible
Tracks.
experience. No, that's true. It is. Yeah, that's true.
There are new ways to
The
check the prostate.
advancement of technology and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you don't have
you're
to be
right.
afraid. Don't worry.
Yeah. What do you think about the health?
I agree. What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
Right. That's the starting point.
Yeah.
I think so. Lately, I equally, what I eat, I think twice about it. Right.
Yeah.
When I go to the store, I'm intentional about what I buy
Yeah.
because that's what I can cook and that's what I eat.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
Awesome.
things like that is a starting point.
It's very critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say I had a checkup recently.
Good stuff.
And I was happy with it. So
That's good.
Yeah, they say the health of a nation is the wealth of a nation.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you all single?
No. But single legally.
Okay.
Not married, but
Okay. Y'all have children?
I have kids, yeah.
You have kids?
Married. I just got married in August.
Oh,
Congratulations.
congratulations. So Tom, you have kids?
No kids, not yet married, but soon. Fingers
Okay.
crossed.
All right. So tell me what it is to be like a father and what sort of, because there are a lot of, man being blamed a lot that they're not taking up their rightful positions as fathers or as husbands. They're not taking care of their children. You hear a lot of women complaining that the father's not doing what they're supposed to do. As a father, husband, what sort of advice would you give to the man to be better fathers, to be better husbands?
I think for me, Drax, as a father, I have a daughter. She's 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah, she's my heart, Jordan, Amelia Durham.
okay.
She is my heart. So only one for me. But I think it's important as men, as it relates to fatherhood, is finding that time to be there and always showing up for all of the key important aspects of their lives, whether it's birthdays, whether it's, school plays or anything that is, very important to them. You must be there and be present. And not only, I think, and I'm guilty of it to some extent early on, where we feel as men that as long as we're providing that financial support,
That's true.
we're okay. We don't need to be there, or we can get on with our busy lives. And going back to what I've mentioned earlier with regards to, because we have so much pressure on us as men, and particularly entrepreneurs, we're working more than 60, 80 hours a week. And then when we get home, we just want to eat and get on the computer and again. And as entrepreneurs, you're
tired
never
too.
off.
And you're tired.
And then suddenly you realize, oh, I haven't spent that little time with, helping with a school project or homework but I think it is equally important, not just, financially, but in person, finding that time and learning and growing, understanding, so that they are open and can speak to you about any challenges they may have, so you can be their mentor rather than having to look at strangers or persons outside of their lives to be mentor. And the risk that comes with as well. So you would want to be, as a parent, your child's mentor. So I think building that relationship and having that openness with them, that they can trust you and speak about things. So, every day when I pick up my daughter, she's anxious to tell me what happened.
From school?
Yeah, I pick her from school
Nice.
3 days a week. We have our routine, me and her mother. We have our little routine. I do Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. She does Tuesday and Thursdays. So when she comes and she's excited to tell me what happens at school, and or if she's upset with one of her friends, she tells me, what happens now. And the things these little kids go through, tracks. I'm thinking at 10 years old, I wasn't experiencing those. They're actually like beefing with each other. Oh man. And I'm just laughing in the back of my mind, like, how old are you again?
Yeah. But they make your day though.
Yeah, they do.
It's very rewarding being a father.
Do make your day, and it is that, for me, it is that peace and calmness, and it is like therapeutic for me. That little drive from school home,
It is.
in my day, is so therapeutic and mind relaxing, man. And I look forward to it. Trust me, Jack. So that's my advice to fathers. Be there.
Even if you break up in the moment.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you break up with your child.
Exactly, and that is the most important thing. You establish a good parent relationship. If you're not together with the mom or the dad, you have to realize that the importance is the growth and development of that little human being that you've brought into the world. That is your responsibility.
Yeah,
true.
So be there, show up, and invest the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you're newlywed and your father, you say too?
I have a son, and I'm expecting my next son in a few days.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. I've been enjoying it, like fatherhood. Like I say, listening to him, I feel like he's speaking to me. and me getting married is a beautiful thing. I think marriage is beautiful.
Awesome.
I think in a relationship, like, communication plays a big role in it. You and your partner need to, like, if you arguing with your partner all the time, it don't make sense. Y'all just gotta sit down, and come to terms on certain things. And my wife, she's amazing. She helps me if I need help in the kitchen or anything. She's always there to help me. That's me. Our family on the whole, like, my family is very supportive. I have very supportive friends as well. But if I do need someone, I can actually call on my family and say, like, oh, Daddy, I need you to come do this for me, or Mommy, can you help me with this? And I never get a no. So
your parents must be very proud. Yeah.
I grew up in a household where I have 5 sisters. I'm the oldest child, and I'm the only boy.
You're the only boy?
Only boy. So my sister had a daughter. She's 2 years old. So everybody was saying, oh, you're going to have a daughter. And then I'm the person that have the 2 boys.
That's
so
something.
I'm sure me and my dad are very, very happy.
Yeah.
But I'll take Dom's advice. Always be there.
Yeah, that's good, man.
But like, my son is 1 right now, so I have 2 under 2. So waiting to see how that one goes. But
congrats.
I just feel motivated, like, having my son. I feel like I have to actually go out there and find a way to make more money, like, so I can put my family in a better situation.
That is awesome. So we've come to the end of our show, and I just want to thank all of you for being guests on the show. But I'd like for you to close and let me with some, maybe you could talk about something you think we have not talked about, or reiterate what you said already. Because we really need to have the show as an inspiration to inspire other young men. Because I am confident, listening to y'all 3, that the Turks and Caicos has a great future. And so I'll leave you to some closing remarks, whatever you want to say.
I think I'm the youngest, so I'll start. For me, we spoke a lot today about challenges, but those challenges shaping growth, and and bring in more positivity. And so one of the things I think hasn't been mentioned that I have to say, the greatest challenges I've had in my life, the best mentor I look to is God. I can't purport to say I've been a Christian or the most godly person in my entire life, but the older I get, the more I go through, the more I experience. I cannot stress how important it is to have a relationship with God. I try to run from it. I try to escape it. I try to do it myself. I keep coming back to that.
Yeah.
So my message to everyone, but especially young men, is when there is no one else, no other hope, there is always God.
Yeah.
He's always with you, right?
Yeah.
So, seek him, get to know him, grow a relationship with him.
Yeah. And that's very important. I mean, but how do we get those young men attracted to God? Because there's so much competition out there now. There's so much stuff that we have as gods. We got money, the love of money, and all these different things. How do you? That's a very good point. God is the foundation. What do you think we need to do? I mean, even the church, you look around the church, it's mostly people of women. Women even are preachers now. There's no last man. But that's part of the problem we have in our country. God is not there. So what do you think we need to do to get?
For me, I found a good group of men that do Bible study, that are part of a church. I go to Harvest Bible Chapel. Plug for Harvest. They do a brilliant thing called a D group, which is a discipleship group. And mine is just men. And we come together, we talk about the Bible, but we talk about other things, and we are quite frank about, look, this is where I am. This is what I understand the Bible to be saying. What is your perspective? And then you realize actually a lot of us deal with the same issues. A lot of us have been brought up in Christian households, or we've gone to church, but we don't really have a deep understanding of the Bible and what it says. So being in that environment, find a friend that you've common ground with. We're all sinners, but you both kind of know God and want to know a little bit more, and say, hey, let's check out this text. Let's see what it means for us.
Take it from there.
And take it from there. Start where you are. Right.
And the fact that you provide a testimony that you can do without God, that in itself should be an eye opener for others. Say, wait a minute, let me try what Devonte is talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Wayne, closing remarks. Thank you, Devonte.
I also agree with Devonte. That's something I need to do more as well. I try to go to church when I can, but I need to get in, like Devonte say, get God involved more. But I just want to encourage people, it don't matter where you come from, what your family been like, or your situation. You can do whatever you put your mind to, and never let anybody tell you that you can't do anything.
Wow. That's powerful. Very good point. It doesn't matter where you come from, who you are. You can do whatever you want to do. You have to make it your mind, and you have to believe. Very, very good point. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Drax. I think we've spoken about numerous issues here today, and we've had some very, valid commentary from both my colleagues to my right here. It was a decent show, and like Devonte has said, I think this is the starting point, having that conversation. For me, I'm going to revert to what I've initially said in the beginning. Starts at home. I was brought up in a Christian home. My mom, Mary Durham, and my dad, James Durham, and her role within the church community as well. So, she always preached to me from a little child, to whilst adhering to the 10 Commandments, for example, there's one that comes with promise, only one that has a promise attached to it.
What's that?
Honor thy mother and thy father.
Oh, yes.
And then if you do that, your days will be longer upon the earth. So I live with that every day. Every day I live with it. I'm so excited when I go to church and sit next to her. She's happy to see me. She attends Harvest as well. And I think earlier on when I started to go to church. It was just to satisfy her. But then as you grow and mature, you seek your own knowledge and your own understanding. You have your own testimony. So I think it was quite important for Mr. Smith to bring that up, to do acknowledge God and all we do. So I do that daily. So parents, God, parents, and invest in yourself and your family. Be good, do good, and good shall follow you. That's my last sentiments. And always keep your integrity, and whatever you do it to the highest level of competence and compassion, and you would definitely seek the rewards.
All right, well, thank you again. We've come to the conclusion of the Drexel SEMA show with our series on meeting some young men. And I'm telling you, we have some great young people in Turks and Caicos. I don't care what anybody say. We have some great young people. And this two-part series has demonstrated that we do. And there are many other young men out there. I just want to thank you again for taking the time to come here this afternoon to, to share your thoughts and provide advice to the community of Turks and Caicos and above. So thank you very much. And thank you for watching the Drexel SEMA show.